evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for our regular City Council meeting. Thanks to those who are here in the Council chamber with us. And thanks to those who are joining us live on BevCam. And thank you to Kim in the BevCam booth for keeping us streaming so that folks can follow along. We appreciate you as always, Kim. As always, I'm going to just run through the agenda before I officially call the meeting to order, just so that we'll know what we have in front of us this evening. So we do have a presentation from David Alden St. Pierre, who's going to be talking to us on behalf of our Open Space and Recreation Committee, and we'll get to that shortly. Thank you very much for being here. We have one resident speaker signed up to speak, and then we've got some routine business to take care of. We will take a brief break for some subcommittee work, and then we'll be back to finish it all up. So with that, I'll officially call to order this regular meeting of the Beverly City Council, Monday, November 17th, 2025, 7:00 p.m. Ms. Kent, will you please call the roll?
Crawley? Here. Feldman? Here. Hausman? Here. Rotundo? Here. Spang? Here. St. Hilaire? Here. Milady? Here. Sweeney? Here. And Flowers?
Here. Thank you, Ms. Kent. Councillor Hausman, will you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much, Councillor Hausman. Before we begin, I did just want to mention, particularly for folks who may not have seen our last meeting and heard this explanation, but we do have Councillor John Milady, who's joining us this evening. Welcome, Councillor Milady. Councillor Milady was elected at the most recent city election, but because former Councillor Hannah Bowen resigned effective October 31st to step solely into her role as our state rep, that left a vacancy on the council, and our city charter outlines then what would happen if we are within a certain amount of time before our next city election, and then that the highest vote getter not currently on the city council would then fill that seat. Councillor Milady, that's you, and so welcome. We're happy to have you for the remaining balance of this term. I do want to mention also that we have Councillor-elect Keith Sonia here with us this evening. Welcome, Councillor-elect Sonia, and we'll look forward to having you up here with us as we start our next term, but thank you so much for being here. We do have some members of our city staff here with us this evening as well. We have our city grants director, Catherine Barrett, and our airport director, Gabe Hannafin. Thank you both for being here with us. So I mentioned we have a presentation right at the beginning, and so we will go to you, Mr. Alden St. Pierre, and turn things over to you for a presentation and update. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you so much. My name is David Alden St. Pierre. I am the chair of the Beverly Open Space Recreation Committee. Here to give you the annual update. My mother. Anyways,
that was very suspenseful. I liked your sound effects.
That's how I feel when my mother calls me. But that's a whole other thing we'll get into another time. Anyway, so I sent everyone a little presentation that kind of collates a lot of the things I wanted to discuss. Every year I've tried to make it show up on a screen and projector. It's never worked, so figured I'd just go with the handouts for everyone tonight. So first thing was just talking about our membership. And we have a pretty robust membership, but we do have 2 open seats right now. 2 of our members have moved on to handle some other projects. So we have an open seat in the Ward 3 and Ward 4. So if anyone knows anyone in their constituency that might be interested in serving in the Open Space Committee, reach out. We'd love to get some more people involved. Beyond that, just want to talk about some of the projects that we've been involved with this year, and we've certainly gotten a lot of help from the Scouts. We always have a lot of help from our Scouts, and certain Eagle Scout projects really do a lot to help maintain and improve our trail systems. We had 2 Eagle Scout projects this year. We had Noah Boudreau and Ben Walsh, who did some nice signage. They had some really nice routed signs with numbers on there that they put up a lot of our trail intersections. So that was done at Norwood Pond, that was done at Sally Milligan, and that was done at Beverly Commons. And a lot of our trail systems have struggled with vandalism, and will put signs up and then they're taken down. They put signs up and they're taken down. So hopefully, these are some really nice signs, and hopefully they will last a long time. We've also had some Scouts from Troop 2 from the Baptist Church who've gone out and done a lot of cleanups on the trails, and they've done various projects throughout the city also trying to help keep our trails cleaned and maintained. Other things that we have done is we've tried to keep our website up to date, and one of our members, Mario Tricomi, went through a long list of all of the playgrounds and beach access, because we've had some documents on there that have been on the page for a long time, and he went through and made sure that everything was still up to date and accurate as it discusses what type of amenities are available at each of these sites, parking, routes of access, et cetera. Another thing that we try to do throughout the year is make sure that we try to support community events. The Beverly Public Library has done a lot of events with a local birder named Greg Powers, who has done a lot of bird walks, which have been exceedingly popular. So we've tried to support those and advertise those, but they typically get sold, or not sold out, but they fill up as soon as they're released. There've also been some other city events like the pop-up splash pads, and then some other events that also sort of fit within the confines of what we do with the open space. There's been some mushroom walks and things like that. So try to get that information out to the public so that people can understand all the great things we have on our open spaces. One of our main vehicles for getting information out to the public is through social media. I think that's pretty much the way most information is sent out. We have the Beverly Trails Instagram account, which is probably our primary way, but we also have a Facebook page. And so we try to maintain both of those sites, keep them updated, and try to get some information out as often as we can, whether it's just a nice picture of a fall season or, again, some of these events that are going on. Other things that we try to participate in is, as I'm sure you guys are all aware, the city has the open space residential design, where if there's a project that's above a certain size, they have to try to allocate some portion of that development to open space. And so a lot of times these developers will come up with a number of different design options. And so we try to weigh in and think about what might be the best option that's going to protect as much open space, sometimes also maintaining public access. So we try to look at these different options and try to come up with options that we think might be the best. And that's been projects from Trask Lane to some small projects out on Stanley Street and out on Hart Street. So a lot of those things come in and we try to do the best we can with those. Another project that has gone on throughout the city has been a native planting and pollinator planting study group. And, the emphasis there is really trying to find ways to advocate for native plants and pollinator plants, not only for people in their own private homes, but also on municipal properties. And if there's an option of using a native versus an invasive plant or a native versus an invasive tree, I think we should always try to use one of the native plants. Green Beverly also has a lot of great programs too that we try to partner with to, again, get people to really focus on native plants, because we can all do a little bit to try to help the environment, and sometimes that starts in our own backyards. Of course, going beyond that, we've done some trail work. We have done some, bridges. We have a bridge that we're going to be trying to replace out at Beverly Commons coming up real soon. I have to go to the Conservation Commission, I think another week or two for that. There was a set of stairs that we replaced out by Whitehall Circle. And throughout the year, whether it's a tree down or fixing any kind of trail options, that's what we're always out there trying to do. Speaking of the trails, not everything goes great. I don't know if anyone has seen out at Beverly Commons where there's been a lot of problems with rogue trail builders. And sometimes it's not so bad and it's low key and it's just there. But sometimes it gets out of hand, and out at Beverly Commons is a specific spot which is technically part of Greenbelt's property. And some of the trail building there really went beyond what they could really accept. And so they had to put some cease and desist signs out there talking about unauthorized trail activity, which lists some of the laws regarding that, which is punishable by fines and jail time. And, it's an issue that not only Beverly faces, but everywhere, whether it's state property, all over the country, people want more trails. And sometimes it's difficult for the organizations who promote and design trails to meet that demand as quickly as we'd like. The permitting process can certainly be onerous beyond what you would expect would take to put a small trail in somewhere, but people don't understand the process and they get frustrated and just go out there with a shovel and build. Sometimes it's okay what they build, sometimes it's not. But typically, if it's not done with a good design and plan, it can cause some safety issues, and that's one of the things we always have to balance with what's going on out there. So it's something we will continue to keep an eye on and try to do the best we can to help with. Another thing that we also look at is something that you guys have probably seen. It's called the Garden City Trail Network, which is a trail that is a network of trails that try to connect all across the city. And, you know, we've got trails in every ward. And so you think, well, okay, can we go from Norwood Pond to Sally Milligan to Beverly Commons? And if so, how can we get there? One piece to that puzzle is a bridge that's going to be going out at Norwood Pond that is behind where the Norwood Pond Trail System is right now to a spot of land that's currently kind of landlocked, kind of behind North Shore Music Theater. So we had a bridge that was approved through the Conservation Commission. It's about 70 feet long, but we're running into some issues with how it's actually going to be built. And so right now we've been talking with Essex Tech about having some of their students actually do some of the project. So going back and forth on that, and once that can be done, that'll be nice to connect to some area that most people really can't get to right now. A couple other key spots in this Beverly or Garden City Trail Network. One of them is behind the Sterling Center YMCA. Now, the Sterling Center Y has a number of trails that are for their users, and they also allow people in the public to go out there. And there's a connection between the Y and some of the trails behind Hanna Elementary School that runs around the solar field by the old dump. It's basically just a grassy field, but there's a trail there you can see because it's kind of walked in over time. But in the summer, depending upon how warm it is and how much rain we get, it's a field that can be waist high. I try to go out there as often as I can with a brush mower and just make a couple of passes, and it's not hard work. It just takes, you know, a little bit of time to get the brush mower out there. I've reached out to the city to see if someone from the DPW or someone else who does, you know, the landscaping or Parks Department could go out there with just a mower, and, you know, one of the bigger machines could be done in no time at all. You show up, probably a half an hour out and back and be done. And honestly, I've never really gotten any kind of response to my inquiries. And so if that could be done, even if I could find a schedule to say they'll do it every other week, and I'll know, all right, if it's an off week, maybe I'll go out there and check. If it's an on week, I know it's going to get done. It'd be great because, like I said, the Y would like to really try to promote their trails, and their trails can connect to other trails, and they wanted to put a kiosk out there and a map to try to really, you know, show this access. But without that piece, if we don't know if that trail is going to be open or not, we don't want to send people out to this field where there's just going to hit, you know, again, like waist-high grass. So if anyone can try to help with that, that would be fantastic. And then another piece that's also to this puzzle is the trails at Endicott College. There's a number of trails that are already there. People already use them. The trails are really good. We wanted to be able to actually advertise those trails on our map to say, here's our Garden City Trail Network. You can go from here and get to here, go behind Tall Tree Lane, hit those trails at Endicott, spit you out by Common Lane, hit the Beverly Commons trails. So in able to do that, we want to make sure that there was some type of official access to those trails. And about 2 years ago, the mayor and I met with Endicott's president, and they had decided, you know what, let's try to come up with a memorandum of understanding to allow for access for these trails. And I went online, I found a number of different examples of MOUs for trail access, and we started to start a dialogue, and it's dead. The last several emails I've sent to both the mayor's office and Endicott College have gone unreplied. So if anyone knows anyone at Endicott College and can try to help move that forward, that would be fantastic as well. Because again, these are two puzzle pieces to that puzzle, that overall trail network that would go, you know, all around the city of Beverly. And those are kind of the two big asks I would have if anyone has any help with that. Otherwise, we continue to try to move forward and keep our trails open and get people to be outside and enjoy them. So, any questions about anything?
Thank you very much.
Sure.
Appreciate your presentation and also your time and the work that you do, you and your team and you yourself. You know, you just mentioned yourself being out there with the mower, so thank you. I know it's a real labor of love and care. Councilors, are there any questions? Councilor Feldman.
Thank you, and thank you so much for all your volunteering, and you're great with the scouts, because I know you through Troop 4 and also through all your hard work, and we're so lucky to have your input as a professional, kind of as a volunteer for the city. And I know we talked a lot over the spring and summer about that solar trail, and I experienced the waist-high grass myself when I tried to go see if it was still doing great. It was not, and it actually had poison ivy that time too.
Awesome.
So I was wondering if, when you said there were, agreements with some of the right-of-ways, I know that the solar field up there, I believe we have some type of contract, like, it's not the city, it's part of the city's land, but it's leased, and I was wondering if there are any partnerships with, and it also connects to, I think it's Halsted right now, the apartment complex. I was wondering if there's any type of community partners, because I also tried to get more access to,
Yep.
but we're just so busy with everything else, it
Oh,
just
yeah.
seemed like it was, a trail, and it was a nice to have, not a need, and I was wondering if we could, if there were any creative partnerships with either the solar, the vendor that does the solar field, or Halsted, maybe in terms of community givebacks.
Yeah, and I know there is an unofficial trail that goes from behind Halsted to the solar farm where the trail is, and that would connect to the Hannah trails and the Y. However, to get to that spot, you do walk past a private property no trespassing sign. I think that specific land between Halsted and the solar farm might be Mastranzi property.
Okay.
And I thought there had been some discussion a while ago about trying to get access across their land because they were doing some type of staging area for something, but I believe a lot of that kind of got hung up with, is there gonna be an overpass or something going over there? And so everything just kind of stopped there.
Okay.
It'd be great to kind of reopen those discussions, because there is a trail back there, and if that could be something that would be an official trail, I think that people at Halsted would really like that.
Right, and yeah, I think they're using it as such.
Oh,
'cause
they
there's even a kiosk for them to enter the trails.
Yeah.
So, with dog bags and everything, so. All right, well, thank you. Thanks
Yeah,
so much.
of course, thank you.
Thank you, Counselor. Counselor Houseman.
Yes, good evening. I would just echo Councilor Feldman's thanks for all the work that you do personally, as well as the members of the committee.
Thank you.
Quick question on the OSRD input that the committee gives. Do you know if the city ordinance for OSRD provides formally for the committee to receive notice of OSRD applications? In other words, how do you get notice? How do you find out about a development that might lend itself to your committee's involvement?
So we have a member from the planning committee who's on our committee, Wayne, whose last
Miller?
name?
Miller.
Yes. So either he or Ken Clausen, who attends those meetings, at our meetings will say, here's what's going on in the city, here are some developments that are going on. This one is of enough size that would trigger the OSRD, and other ones that are not. So we usually find out that way.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Of course.
Thank you, Counselor. Any final question or comment from members of the council? All right. Well,
All right.
thank you, and thank you again for your presentation. Thanks for being here with us, and thank you for the good work that you do to help us keep and access open space in the city. It's so important. Thank you.
Well, thank you for your support. You guys have a good night.
You as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
So we do have, as I mentioned, we have one member signed up for public comment, and so we will go to that now. I'll invite you to go to the podium, and as you do, I'll just mention for those who are following that these spots are available at every one of our our regular meetings, rather, and there are up to 5. Each speaker can sign up for 3 minutes. They can be signed up for by contacting the clerk's office no later than 9:30 the day of the meeting to find out if there's availability. And it's not a back and forth. I always like to let people know if they're following along. You won't see the council engage back and forth the way that we did, for example, just now with that presentation. It's a slightly different mechanism, but it doesn't mean that the council is not listening, valuing what's being shared, and often it does inform our future conversation as well. So Vice President Crowley, it looks like you're getting ready with the timer. Once you begin, if you see Vice President Crowley's timer hit the 3-minute mark, if you would just draw your remarks to a close. But I'll turn things over to you if you'd begin with your name and address for the record, and then you have up to 3 minutes.
Excellent. Good evening. My name is Aisha Siddiqui, and I live at 14 Windsor Road in Ward 3. As November is Native American Heritage Month, I would like to read our city's land acknowledgement statement, available on the city's website. Today, we respectfully acknowledge the Naumkeag people whose ancestral lands we occupy. These lands were theirs until disease, war, slavery, and colonization displaced them. The Naumkeag are descended from the Pawtucket people of northern New England. We recognize our obligations to this land and the indigenous communities who care for it. As we advance diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging, we commit to decolonizing our systems by including indigenous people and their perspectives in our discourse, decisions, and actions. I would also like to take a trip down memory lane together. In 2022, President Flowers proposed an amendment to the council rules to have the land acknowledgement statement read at council meetings. This was order number 023. The order was discussed on January 31, 2022 in the Legal Affairs Committee and Committee of the Whole. It was voted on during the February 7th, 2022 City Council meeting. It failed to pass by a vote of 5-4, falling one short of the 2/3 vote needed to amend the City Council rules and orders. Here are excerpts from the January 31, 2022 committee meeting minutes. It is valuable to consider a step like this to lift up history that has been omitted and truncated. Flowers stated that this is something the Massachusetts Center for Native American Awareness specifically requests, and it is important to listen to the voices of people who are the experts of their own experiences. And here are excerpts from the February 7th, 2022 Council meeting minutes. Flowers read into the record the letter of support from Thomas Green of the Massachusetts Tribe. Abu Toppin, Director of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, then Director, read a quote from James Baldwin and stated this is an opportunity to fix a broken foundation of systemic racism. Toppin highlighted the importance of courageous intent and looking from a different angle. Change can begin with a land acknowledgement. Hausman stated that as community leaders, this is an opportunity to invite the community at large to be faced with something different and perhaps strange and uncomfortable and ask why and what is this all about? It is a good thing as community leaders for the council to create opportunities for the community to move forward. The notion of having a land acknowledgement seems to be a positive step forward. I invite the council to reconsider the 2022 vote. Thank you and good night.
Thank you very much. Thank you for being here with us, and thank you for your comments as well. Councilors, we do have some routine business to take care of, and we'll begin with acceptance of minutes of previous meetings. We have just one set of meeting minutes that are available for us to approve this evening, and those are from our special city council meeting, June 23rd, 2025. Is there a motion to approve this set of minutes? All those in favor? Aye. Yes, I was expecting that you might. So yes, Councilor Blais. So that passes 8-0 to 1 abstention. And thank you, Councilor Milady, for being on top of that. Let's go to communications from His Honor the Mayor, please, Ms. Kent.
Order number 257, renewal of a lease with Wayside Transportation Corp.
Please refer that to the Committee on Legal Affairs.
Order number 258, a grant for $16,800 recycling dividends program grant from the Mass DEP to allow the city to continue to implement eco-friendly policies.
Please refer that to the Committee on Finance and Property. Let's go to communications from other city officers and boards, please.
Order number 259 from the city clerk, a renewal application for lodging house license for 68 Dane Street, LLC, DBA Graycroft Inn at 68 Dane Street.
Please refer that to the Committee on Legal Affairs.
Order number 260 from the city clerk, a renewal application for a lodging house license with the Girdler House at 78 Lothrop Street.
Please refer that to the Committee on Legal Affairs as well.
Order number 261 from Finance Director Brian Ailes on behalf of the solicitor. I request an approval to use FY 2026 funds towards 2 prior year invoices totaling $470.
Please refer that to the Committee on Finance and Property.
Order number 262 from President Flowers, an appointment letter for Counselor at Large John Milady to serve on the Public Service Committee and Vice President Crowley to serve as Chair of Public Services until the end of this term.
Councilors, I would entertain a motion to approve Order 262 on the floor if you're so inclined.
So moved.
Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that carries 9-0. Let's go to communications, applications, and petitions, please, Ms. Kent.
Order number 263, the notice of availability, a summary of October 16, 2025 public involvement plan meeting regarding former Varian facility site at 150 Sawyer Road.
I would entertain a motion to receive this and place it on file. Second. All those in favor? Aye. Carries 9-0, so we'll receive that report and place it on file. We do have one item of unfinished business for a previous meeting. This is Order 163 concerning proposed amendments to Chapter 69, Article 2, Section 69.9 from the mayor. This is on city personnel sick leave. We'll continue to hold that here till the end of this term to see if the mayor wants to pursue anything further with that. And that brings us to the time for a break for some subcommittee work. I would entertain a motion for us to take that brief break now. All those in favor? Aye. Carries 9-0. Let's have Finance and Property in Council Chambers, Legal Affairs in the Committee Room, and Public Services actually does not need to meet despite our having just reconfigured the committee. So you can choose your own adventure tonight, Public Services. We'll be back.
Order the Committee on Finance and Property. Good evening, everybody. With a light agenda, we've got a couple orders that were submitted to us tonight at our regular meeting. So first order, Ms. Barrett, Order 258. Looks like a grant from DEP for $16,800. Do you want to tell us about this one?
Yes, thank you. So this is a grant we apply for each year to Mass DEP to support our waste management and disposal activities. And Karen Cotter in our engineering department does a great job on this grant. I'm involved with it quite a bit as well. It's a grant where we earn a certain amount of points for different waste activities we're doing, whether it's garbage, recycling, composting, just reducing our overall waste stream. And I just wanted to point out that this year is one of the lowest amounts we've gotten probably in the last 8 years. We used to get about $33,000 to $35,000, but they're making it harder and harder each year to earn the points. And so this year, we earned enough points for $16,800. We used to get, again, about $33,000 back in fiscal 21. So, you know, it's getting rid of garbage and recycling and composting is becoming a very expensive thing. And they're encouraging communities to meet all of these different point thresholds. Some of them we don't have in Beverly. We don't have like a town dump with a swap shop. We don't have a charm facility to recycle hard to recycle materials. So there's some things that we don't have and may never have, but could possibly have or have a shared service with some of our surrounding communities, but I just did want to point out that it's a little lower than what we've experienced in the past, and it might get lower.
Thank you, Ms. Barrett. I appreciate that summary. Colleagues, any questions? Madam President.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Barrett. I also appreciate the summary and appreciate some of your acknowledgement of some of the things that perhaps right now we could not easily adjust to earn more points. But I'm thinking about, you can correct me if I'm wrong, it seems like with the renewal of our sanitation contract on the horizon, it might be an opportunity for us to think about some of the things that could potentially increase our ability to earn more on this grant. I'm wondering if you can just refresh my memory. Having fewer bulky item pickups. I know we allow one per week.
Yeah.
But also just how many barrels or how we handle our collection. Those are things we could be thinking about as we.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely. So we are going to be renewing the hauling contract at some point at the end of this fiscal year. And I'm actually looking at 2 other grants from Mass DEP. One is the technical assistance grant, which you have to apply for and receive to qualify for the SMRP Pay-T grant, which gives you up to $30 per barrel towards purchasing automated trash and recycling receptacles. And so, you know, I think we probably are anticipating a switch to an automated service. It sort of is going that way with haulers, and most of the communities, if not all of them, have provided the receptacles, trash and recycling, and they're about $45 to $48 a piece, and this grant would provide $30 towards that. So it's pretty significant. It goes up to $300,000. So there's a couple other Mass DEP grants that I was just working on today. So there's always a lot of grants in the works, and those are a couple that kind of dovetail with our RDP recycling grant, which reduces, hopefully, the amount of waste we're sending to an incinerator, and it reduces the overall cost to the city.
Thank you.
So hopefully that answered your question. I don't
Yes.
a
no,
lot
that's
of
helpful.
information.
That was helpful.
Okay.
Good, Madam President? Yep.
Yeah, thank you.
And there's no match for this RDP grant. I just wanted to point that
No
out.
match.
Yeah.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah, everyone always loves a no match grant.
I was
Just
going to
pure-
ask
pure
that, so
money.
thank you. Counselor Sweeney, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Ms. Barrett, for the description of the grant. I know you mentioned that it's a reduction from amounts that the city has previously received.
Yes.
Are there any specific expenses that this grant supports? And is there a concern that with less grant funding coming in than in years past, those specific expenses won't be able to be maintained?
I think we're fine for now for a couple of reasons. Number one, this is a rollover grant, so any funds that we haven't spent from the previous years roll into the current year. We didn't necessarily spend all of the monies in my past 8 years, so we do have a healthy balance. That would be a concern if we were spending the full amount each year, but the types of things that it funds are the styrofoam collection, some of the composting, like the community composting here at City Hall. It funds a portion of our, I don't know Jason's exact title, his waste reduction coordinator. He works in our engineering office, part of his salary. And then it also goes towards some educational programs, like if we offer them at the high school or middle school, and partnering with their green teams. So it's a bunch of different things. It varies year to year. The first year we got this grant, 2018, we bought reusable shopping bags because we were transitioning away from the plastic bags in the city. So we bought a large number of those and we distributed them for free at the various grocery stores. So it does vary year to year depending on what the priority is, or are there some new needs that we didn't have the previous year.
All right, thank you
Yeah,
for that.
thanks.
Okay, thank you. I would entertain a motion to approve Order 258.
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
That was approved 3-0. Thank you. Next, we'll take up Order 261. This is a request from Finance Director Brian Ailes on behalf of our city solicitor, who's here with us tonight, to use FY 2026 appropriated funds to pay 2 prior year invoices totaling $470. This is something that does happen from time to time. There are 2 payments, one to the Commonwealth of Massachusetts Registry of Deeds, and the other to a law firm. So I have Ms. Oldmixon with us, solicitor. What can you tell us about these, if anything?
So these are just, we try not to have this occur, but unfortunately, in this year, we ended up with a couple small bills left over from FY25 that we need to use FY26 money for. The Registry of Deeds, we often have to record documents at the registry, and then the law firm was just a matter of they didn't get their billing out to us in time.
Okay, thank you, Solicitor. Seems routine to me. Any questions, colleagues? Okay. I would entertain a motion to approve Order 261.
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That is approved.
Thank you very
Thank you.
much.
Okay. That is all we have on our agenda this evening for the subcommittee. I would entertain a motion to adjourn the Committee on Finance and Property.
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We're adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, everyone. Call the full council back to order following that break for the subcommittees to do some work, and thank you to those subcommittees for the work that you got done during that time. And I just wanted to mention, if you were still watching on BevCam, then you just saw that City Solicitor Bethel Mixon is also here with us, but she did come in after I had acknowledged other city leaders and staff, so thank you, Solicitor, for being here with us this evening. Ms. Kent, let's go to reports from committees, please.
Order number 258, the Committee on Finance and Property, to whom referred the matter regarding a $16,800 recycling dividends program grant from Mass DEP to allow the city to continue to implement eco-friendly policies and considered said matter and beg leave to follow. Recommend the council approve this request.
Questions or comments? The question comes on the acceptance of the proposal and the adoption of the order. All those in favor, aye. Aye. Carries 9-0.
Order number 261, Committee on Finance and Property, to whom referred the matter regarding a request for approval to use FY 2026 funds towards 2 prior year invoices totaling $470, have considered said matter and beg leave to follow. Recommend the council approve this request.
Are there questions or comments on this one? Question comes on the acceptance of the proposal and the adoption of the order. All those in favor, aye. Aye. That carries 9-0.
Order number 251, the Committee on Legal Affairs, to whom referred the matter regarding a reappointment for James Butler to serve as Director of Municipal Inspections, have considered said matter and beg leave to follow. Recommend the council approve this reappointment.
Questions or comments? The question comes on the acceptance of the proposal and the adoption of the order. All those in favor, aye. Aye. Carries 9-0.
Order number 257, the Committee on Legal Affairs, to whom referred the matter regarding a renewal lease with Wayside Transcorp, have considered said matter and beg leave to follow. Recommend the council approve this request.
Questions or comments on this one? The question comes on the acceptance of the proposal and adoption of the order. All those in favor, aye. Aye. Carries 9-0.
Order number 259, the Committee on Legal Affairs, to whom referred the matter regarding a renewal application for a lodging house license for 68 Dane Street LLC, DBA Graycroft Inn at 68 Dane Street, have considered said matter and beg leave to follow. Recommend the council approve this license.
Questions or comments? The question comes on the acceptance of the proposal and the adoption of the order. All those in favor, aye. That carries 9-0.
Order number 260, the Committee on Legal Affairs, to whom refer the matter regarding a renewal application for a lodging house license for Gertler House at 78 Lothrop Street, have considered said matter and beg leave to follow. Recommend the license be granted.
Questions or comments? The question comes on the acceptance of the proposal and the adoption of the order. All those in favor, aye. Aye. That carries 9-0. That's it. All right. That brings us to the end of our business for this evening. Are there announcements or reminders from the council? Councilor Crowley.
Sure, it's a little bit of a way, but just wanted to remind everybody that November 30th, the Sunday after Thanksgiving, is the holiday parade. It kicks off at 1 o'clock from the high school. We look forward to seeing everybody there. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councilor. And of course, members of the city council are invited to
Please do, yes.
participate. Yes, thank you. And thank you, Councilor Crowley, to you and the others who put in such good work on that
It's our
parade.
pleasure.
Are there other reminders or announcements from the council? All right. Well, welcome, Councilor Milady. We'll look forward to having you with us at our next regular meeting, which will be at the start of December. It will be here in council chambers.
And it won't be this quick?
I did mention to Councilor Milady that not all meetings will be this quick. Thank you, Kim, and the BevCam booth for keeping us streaming. Thank you to those who joined us. Thank you to our public speaker who was with us this evening. Thank you to Mr. Alden St. Pierre for the update. And with that, I would entertain a motion to adjourn. All those in favor? Aye. Carries 9-0, and we are adjourned. Thank you, everyone. Good night.